This is a 70 railgun volley. And today we're about to see what it'll do to an enemy ship. Now in the last video you guys wanted to see these 70 railguns fire. Now not just fire, but destroy a target. So today that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to have various different ships in, different sorts of targets, and we are going to see what the railguns do. We're also going to test out the side armament of these artillery cannons that are very interestingly aimed as well. So without further ado, let's get ourselves into the main cockpit right here. So now that we're in here, we can have a little bit of an aim, and we'll just familiar ourselves with the controls. So we've got the gravity gyro system, we've got the salvo mode that we are going to run once we're aimed at the target. So let's bring ourselves over, like so. It's a heavy ship, this one. And then we'll hit 3, and that will begin the salvo mode. Oh, yes! Oh, the sim speed's dropping. Railguns are going in. Let's have a look at the distance shots. Is that the salvo complete? No, it's stopped rendering. They are ripping straight through that Star Trek ship. It is being absolutely gutted. The salvo looks like it may have completed though. Ooh. Now that was a tasty salvo. Let's have a look at sort of the damage that we got. So we got a really good cross section here as well, so we can see how it ripped through the internals of this ship, went straight through, and I saw a lot of damage coming out the other side. Let's see what sort of damage came out the other side. So it looks like on the upper disc there, it blew out that sort of segment, and it blew up the small grid bridge that this ship has inside it. It's not the most damage that we've seen, but that sort of suppressive fire could have its advantages. Now before we move on, we do have the side cannon to fire, so let's see just how easy that is to maneuver. So we'll give the ship a little bit of a tilt to the right. We're going to access the menu like so. We can zoom ourselves in, get ourselves to spectator, and we'll unleash a volley if we can. Let's see if we can do that. Oh, look at that. Now that is gonna hurt. Oh, we missed though. We missed. We got too excited. Right, let's go back down. So these will fire a hell of a lot quicker. Make sure we're in the right seat, right position. There we go. Let's aim that up. Get ourselves in position at the ship. And here we go again. Everything is reloading. Here comes the volley. Look at that wall of lead. Big explosions. A little bit of time to reload, but that is some severe firepower. Let's fire one more volley, but let's have a look at it up close this time, if we can. All the systems seem to be online. Everything seems to be tracking. Let's just jump back to that menu and re-aim one. Let's take at this little part here. So we'll fire again. Oh, yes. All right, let's get tracking towards the target. Wall of lead going in. Oh, that is what I like to see. That's nearly ripped off that whole upper sort of thruster pod. Oh, let's not lock on. Let's not lock on. Let's move on to the next target, and we'll see just how deadly this weapons combo can be again. Now, the next target in our crosshairs is the Dead Space Planet Cracker. Now, this is another giant ship. This has got a lot of external parts that are roughly connected. So let's bring our gyroscopes online. You can see the reflection of that upper white armor really blurring out the distance. That's a problem with Space Engineers lighting. Something I really hope they address within the new Space Engineers 2 game. So let's fire this volley up. So volley is now firing. Railguns are going. Oh, look at that. Oh, so many holes. Going straight through the side of the armor as well. Right through the middle of the ship. The volley is continuing, blowing off some of the upper armor components. The momentum is pushing them armor components also as well through the ship. That looks like it's almost complete. We've lost render of the railguns at that point. Lots of fragments. More rendering of the railguns coming in at the end there. So there's just so many effects going away. Look at that blown away. Let's have a look at the damage from this side. So the railguns aren't explosive, but they're highly penetrative, and because of that focused volley, it means that they can really get into the guts of the ship right there. So you can see they've cut the way right into that central hallway. We'll have a re-aim. We'll also fire our smaller cannon. So we'll re-aim the ship here towards the back, or the back segment of the ship and just see what sort of damage we could do. And we'll also grab control of the other side cannon this time. So we've got 6 on this side cannon, like so. And let's fire away. So big volley coming in. All them shells. We might be out of range. I don't know if we put this a little bit too far away. Look at them shells going in. Oh, massive smash into the side. Great penetration from the artillery. And some big destruction on the inside there as well. Can we get a second volley? Oh, not just quite yet. Let's reset and get ourselves set up for another bombardment. So if we hit number 3, let's see if we charged up in time. I don't know if we're going to be charged up. That's the only issue with this volley. Yes, you can deliver a lot of firepower, but the amount of juice that this thing sucks out of the systems is incredible. So let's go to our menu and quickly have a look at the railguns. So our railguns are still charging 19 seconds, 21 seconds. So we'll be back when they're ready to fire. So something with railguns, it's going to have to be a consideration. You're going to have some serious power on board to keep a process going like this. And the worst thing that can happen is you can lose power, lose reactors, and then your whole ship could go down. So having loads of railguns isn't probably as good. I would honestly say having more artillery cannons is more effective, because if you can see, we're ready to fire the next volley already. Like so. Oh, look at that effect as well as the shells go in. We can't see anything but smoke in the distance. Lovely impacts. And then, of course, we could switch between both sides and fire out a volley from that side as well. Let's get close to them shells as they whistle in. Yeah, loads of damage. Ripping off that top component there. Lots of secondary impact. And the inertia from the shells hitting froze them blocks into other components. That's sending even more damage into this ship. So let's see if we can fire another volley. Bring ourselves out of there. Just ourselves over ever so slightly. And we'll see if our railguns are ready to fire. There we go. Railguns are ready to fire. Oh, big damage going on here. Let's get a view from here so we can see them fire in different volleys. So it's going out towards the target. It looks like it's staggering across the top area first, and then it works its way down. Yeah, the lower ones don't look like they've fired quite yet. Yep, they're starting to fire off there in order. So much damage going on. Lots of penetrative firepower here. We'll see if we can follow some of these rail shots in. Just notice a bit of the sim speed drop. All these rails are going right in, keeping in these really tight areas. So you can see both of them have managed to penetrate straight in. They've gone straight through the other side by the look of it. Have they come out the other side, though? Yeah, 1 or 2 of them seem to have fragmented and come out the other side. So still very powerful, very viable. But of course, no server would let you ever have this many railguns. You'd get banned if you showed up to a battle with this many railguns. The server admins wouldn't be happy. Well, let's continue on. Let's have a test on something else. Now, in the next test, I wanted to shoot against the carrier itself. I've laid it out with its up armor exposed, and I'm going to use the volley fire mode and spread the shots out by manually aiming it this time. So, if we jump ourselves into the cockpit and we bring down our aim here, it's going to be a little bit hard to see. So let's try and maneuver the camera in a better place. So if we move it to the side, it might be a bit easier. It's just all the lights reflecting off that upper white armor and causing some trouble. So what we want to do here is we want to start the system off and then drag it to the left. So we're going to start dragging it to the left like so. We'll start the system off and then we're going to hit an F8. So this should drag the ship across and spread the volley out if everything goes right. So volley is firing away. You can't see the damage quite yet. Sim speed is dropping. Now that's the other thing. If a ship has high levels of hydrogen tanks or cargo inside, a weapon like this will be extremely effective because the railguns can actually penetrate through, destroy components on the inside, and if there's hydrogen tanks that are vulnerable, the hydrogen tanks will go up completely. So this super carrier, with the amount of hydrogen it has on board, so it can actually do ground landings, is very vulnerable to railguns itself. I'm seeing railguns actually go through this ship and come out the other side here. Let's have a look. Now this is really a suppressive fire volley, spreading them shots out across the whole thing. It's going straight through the super carrier. So let's grab ourselves back in, we'll steady the ship, and then we'll have a look at the penetration that we managed to do. So we did manage to fire at it just around this area. You can start to see some of the penetration on the inside. So it's gone straight in, hit some vital hydrogen tank. That looks like a hydrogen tank or cargo that's perhaps blown up. Then over on this area, as it's worked its way forward, now there isn't much in terms of cargo in these areas, but there is a hangar bay inside these, and you can see that the hole has just gone straight through and out the other side. So quite impressive, but at the same time, we need to target where the hydrogen is stored for the most effect with a railgun. And I think the hydrogen is actually stored in this ship at the back. So let's have a look. Let's have a look where this hydrogen tanks are stored. So they're all in this area. So if we focus our next volley into this area, we are going to see a catastrophic explosion. So let's bring our ship back to bear on the rear sort of quarter of that vessel. And we're going to use one of our side cannons. The thing I like about the side cannons as well is you can quickly grab them like so and fire a volley off. So we might not get the penetration with this one, but we'll see. So volley's coming in now. Okay, big hits. Have we got any hydrogen tanks igniting? That's the question. Yes, we have. So there we go. This ship's propulsion is, I wouldn't say it's crippled, because when the hydrogen tanks explode, they don't usually spread the explosion out too far. But you can see with them stacked like this, this is going to be big trouble when that railgun gets back online. Let's fire another volley. We'll fire another volley into it. We'll aim a little further forward this time, if we can. That is, that one's not reloaded. Let's get a 5 up, see if we can do a 5. Oh, I don't think we're going to be able to get the depression on it. We could always fire a volley off in that section. It won't really hurt it. Shots are coming in. Big impacts. Simulation speed dropping. Let's have a look at what's happened here. So we've got good penetration, and it looks due to the simulation speed dropping, we had the explosion actually happen on the other side. Gravity drive or whatever was in this component area has been damaged. Very interesting indeed. Let's see if that railgun is back online and able to shoot, because I want to aim that straight at them hydrogen tanks at the rear. So we'll try another sweeping sort of shooting motion here. We'll engage in 3, 2, 1. Engaged, and then we're going to come off the menu. Have we not recharged yet? We might not have recharged. Oh, we have. I was looking at the wrong railguns. Okay, so we're aiming towards them hydrogen tanks at the rear. Looks like we have made some hits. We are aiming a little bit too far. I'm trying to bring it back on target. Big explosions from the hydrogen tanks, though. Yeah, this is exactly where you want to shoot. If you want to take down this super carrier, you're going to aim for them rear hydrogen tanks and storage, because look, it's just perpetually blowing up. It's actually blown up so well that my game is stuck. It's stuck with it blowing up. But when you take ships of this size with this much hydrogen aboard, this is a very real problem that you might have. Combine that with the storage of these ships on board, and you could crash a server. So that's why you're not seeing giant battles in Space Engineers. Because as much as we love Space Engineers and like to take it to the next level, you can get massive battles, but you need an extremely powerful server to run it at anything, you know, above 70 sim speed. Oh, lots of damage going on here. I can't even level off the camera. And the next few shots look like they have been missing. Yeah, that whole rear quarter's out. I'm trying to get back onto the spectator camera to have a look. Yeah, the whole of the hydrogen tank bay is just broken. There's parts going flying everywhere. Let's level this up and have a quick look what happened. So it looks like the whole of the hydrogen tank area sort of united. But they have got some protection here. They've got extra layers of blast doors, so they knew that could be an issue. But the railgun was just so powerful, it just went straight through them additional layers of armor on either side. And you can see this ship's probably out of hydrogen now. Let's have a look at these rear thrusters. Oh, it's still got thrust, surprisingly. So there must be a few hydrogen tanks that are perhaps stored up in maybe these sections or something. It doesn't look like it. But there is some hydrogen left, but it's just not quite enough for a great level of propulsion. This ship would be heavily or critically damaged in this case. So let's move ourselves onto another target. Now for our final target, we have my other favourite railgun ship. This is the Rex Mortis from the Steam Workshop. And you'll see that this railgun battery does look very scary indeed. But is it as scary as 70 railguns? Well, I'll let you work that out in the description or the comment section below. Have a look and tell me what you guys think. Do you think in a fight the Rex Mortis would win over this carrier? Perhaps it's something we could test. We could get two equally skilled pilots together and see if we could test just that. So we're going to release a volley from its volley system. We're going to start drifting the ship across like so. Fire up the volley system. Nice slow movement across. And we're going to release our fire into the Rex Mortis. Now, the Rex Mortis actually has something very effective going on here. And you'll notice that I am missing most of the shots. But due to the armor that it's actually got sloped at an angle, did you see them shots dropping down? So I'll bring up the point of aim here just ever so slightly. Try and get my camera back over to that position. There we go. Come on, back to F8. Go on, space engineers, you can handle this. I think we're hitting some vital components on the inside, some ammunition storage, so things are getting a bit haywire over there. Come on, back to the spectator mode. I want to see exactly what's happening here. It's just not letting me get in spectator mode. There we go. Okay, now let me move over there. That's my next thing I want to do. You can see the particles. Yeah, so hydrogen tanks are going up. But that slope at the front of the ship, that angle that it's got there, you can see some of the railgun rounds actually deflecting off and going up and down towards the target. Big explosion, more hydrogen going down. It's the issue with hydrogen tanks. Everyone loves using hydrogen, but you are so vulnerable to railgun fire when using hydrogen tanks. One singular penetration in that area and the whole of your supply of fuel could go up. So the volley is still underway. It takes some time to expend 70 railguns. You never think you're saying that, but you saw that last one deflected. So as we have a look here, we can see that there is a variety of turrets that seem to have blown off. And SimSpeed is struggling to return. So it took some serious damage into this section. Let's have a look into the guts here, what happened. So it did hit a few of the hydrogen tanks. It did blow some of them up that was stored in this area. I don't think we managed to hit any of the turrets, but them initial shots, I don't know if you noticed, the deflection of the rounds. And since I want to talk about deflection, let's bring up our side gun. So I'm going to fire this at the front of the ship because I'm curious to see just what the deflection will be like when these rounds come in. So let's have a careful look. Okay, so you can see them rounds are actively changing direction and ricocheting off. So having your armor at a slope like that could be a considerable advantage. And it's not just a fact, oh, we took out the A of the Rex mortars, but the deflection of them, a few of them rounds due to that sloped armor could be a serious advantage in a firefight. So let's give another go. Let's fire ourselves our other sort of machine gun turret. We're going to fire this one into an area that I think is going to be critical. I think somewhere around here could cause some problems. So we've got the wall of lead coming on in, going in towards the target. Big hit. Looks like we've got some deflection. You can see the deflection happening there, but have we hit any vital hydrogen? That's the question. You can see them shells are slowly deflecting away. So it looks like 6, if you can count there, have deflected away. 2 of them deflected up into the sort of radar equipment on the top. That wasn't too good, but the other shells did land a successful hit into that section right there. So let's have another go with the railgun. Final shot this will be of this video, so we can just have a good enjoyment of that railgun. I want to fire them all at the front area and just have a look at the deflection, because I think the deflection of a railgun is really fascinating in its own way as well. So bringing that camera around, and we're in position. Steady yourself off. Activate the volley fire mode. Volley fire mode is activated, and we'll start to see these railguns tap away. I hope they do anyway. We might have to check the timer. Maybe it's been too soon. We've set the timer off. Yeah, it might have been a bit too soon. We might have some charging time left, so let's have a look. Railguns, yeah, still charging up. It was due to the SimSpeed drop, I'm guessing. But everything's going to be ready very, very shortly. 3 seconds left on these. 1 second left on them. Perfect. Let's get that volley underway. Railguns, are you ready? Blast! So shots are going in. Let's have a look at that deflection if we can. Okay, direct penetration on a few. We're not seeing any railguns go down. I saw one deflect downwards then. More are deflecting down and around. It's almost like they're electric. You see them ones deflecting over the top as well. So some of these are deflecting. These are just missing. Okay, they're missing as well. A little bit too much over the bow. And that is that volley complete. But isn't it fascinating how the rounds are deflecting? The railguns seem to deflect and then follow along the surface they deflected off, where the artillery rounds deflect and stay at the deflected angle. I don't know if that's something you observed by watching this as well. Anyhow, if you enjoyed a bit of railgun testing, once again, hit that like button and it will really help this video out. Anyway, if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and I will see you next time.